Today we're going to be talking about using algebra to solve word problems. So there are 3 steps that you need to follow when you're trying to solve word problems. Step 1 is to define your variable. So we're going to use let statements to define what our variables mean. Step 2 is to set up an equation and solve. So we're going to translate what we're reading into an equation using our let statements, and then we're going to solve. And then 3 is to define your answer. So you're going to give exactly what the problem is looking for, and you want to make sure you're including units. So we're going to try just finding 2 numbers first, so there are no units involved. So number 1 says the larger of 2 numbers is 4 more than the smaller number. If the sum of the numbers is 74, find the numbers. Okay, so we're going to step 1, create the let statements. So we're going to let x, we're going to use x. You can use whatever variable you want. I am going to use x for all of these. So we're going to let x equal our smaller number. Okay, and then it says the larger of 2 numbers is 4 more than the smaller number. So the bigger number is 4 more than the smaller number. So that means that our x plus 4 should equal our larger number. Okay, so now what we can do is we can create our equation. So it's saying the larger of 2 numbers is 4 more than the smaller number. And then if the sum of these 2 numbers together is 74, find the smaller number, or find both numbers. So if the sum of them together is 74, that means we need to add our 2 let statements. So since we're looking for the sum of these 2 numbers, we're taking our smaller number plus our larger number to give us 74. Okay, so now we can go ahead. We have our equation set up. Now we can solve. Step 1 is to combine our like terms here. So we have 2x plus 4 equals 74. And then we have a 2-step equation. So we get rid of the addition first. And then we divide. So we have x equals 35. Now, this is telling me that my smaller number, x, is 35. My bigger number is 4 more than that. So I can do x plus 4, or 35 plus 4, to get 39 for my other number. So my answer would be 35 and 39. All right, so example 2 says the larger of 2 numbers is 7 less than 3 times the smaller number. If the sum of the numbers is 61, find the numbers. So again, we're going to let x equal our smaller number. Okay, and then we're looking for the larger of 2 numbers, okay, so larger number equals 7 less than 3 times the smaller. Well, our smaller number is x. So we're going to do 7 less than 3 times the smaller. So 7 less than means we're putting that at the end because of the than there. 3 times the smaller. So 3 times the smaller minus 7 equals our larger number. So now we can go ahead and solve, because it says if the sum of the 2 numbers is 61, we need to figure out what the numbers are. So again, we're looking for the sum, so that means we're adding both of these parts together. So we're doing x plus 3x minus 7 equals 61. Now we can go ahead and solve. So we're going to step 1, combine our like terms. So 4x minus 7 equals 61. And we have our 2-step equation, so now we can add 7. And we get 4x equals 68. And then divide by 4. So our smaller number, x, is equal to 17. But now we need to figure out what our larger number is. So if 17 is our smaller, it's one of our answers. So now we can take 17 and plug it in right here. So we can do 3 times 17 minus 7. Okay, and when you do 3 times 17 minus 7, you end up with the number 44. And that is your final answer for number 2. Okay, so number 3, it says the larger of 2 numbers is 1 more than 4 times the smaller number. If the sum of the numbers is 106, find the numbers. So I want you to pause the video, try this one, press play when you're ready. All right, so we have the larger of two numbers is 1 more than 4 times the smaller number. So our smaller number is going to be x again. And then it says the larger of two numbers is 1 more than 4 times the smaller. So 1 more than 4 times the smaller. And when we add them together, the sum of them should be 106. So we're doing x plus 4x plus 1 equals 106. Now we can solve this. All right, so our smaller number here is 21. So then we're going to take 21, plug it in over here for x. So 4 times 21 plus 1. And when I do that, I will end up with an 85. So my answer is 21 and 85 because it wants both numbers. Sometimes these problems will ask you to find the smaller one, or they will ask you to only find the larger one. So make sure that you're reading your problem carefully. Otherwise, you might get the wrong answer. In these ones, it is just showing us we want to find both of the numbers. So number 4, the larger of two numbers is twice the smaller number. If 12 is subtracted from the larger number, the result is 7 more than the smaller number. Find the numbers. So first, we're going to start with our smaller number. We know it's x. So I'm going to write that first. Okay, and then the larger of two numbers is twice the smaller number. So twice the smaller number should be our larger number. So now what we can go ahead and do is we have that part figured out. So let's keep reading the problem. It says if 12 is subtracted from our larger number, the result is 7 more than the smaller number. So what we're doing is we're taking 12 and subtracting it from our larger number, which is 2x. So 2x minus 12. And then the result is, so that's equals 7 more than the smaller number. So the smaller number plus 7. Find the numbers. So now this is a multi-step equation with variables on both sides. So step 1 is to move all the variables onto one side. I'm going to move the smaller one to the other side. So I'm subtracting x from both sides. So now I have x minus 12 equals 7. And now I can add 12 to both sides. So x equals 19. Now that's the smaller number. So to get the bigger number, we're just taking 2 times 19. And 19 times 2 is 38. All right, so number 5 says the highest score on an algebra test was 42 points more than the lowest. When added together, the lowest and highest score was 154. Find both the highest and the lowest scores. So pause it, try it, come back when you're ready. We're going to let x equal our lower score, our smallest number. And then it says that the highest score was 42 more than the lowest. So we're going to take our x, our lowest score, plus 42 to be the highest score. Okay, so now that we have that, it says when we add them together, the lowest and the highest score is 154. So we're taking x plus 42 and to get 154. So now I can go ahead and solve, combine my like terms. So I have 2x plus 42 equals 154. And then we can solve our two-step equation. So 154 minus 42, that'll give me 112. And divide both parts by 2. So my lower score is 56. And then I just need to take 56 plus 42 to get my higher score, which in this case would be 98. So the two numbers for my answers are 56 and 98. And so we're going to keep practicing this type. Got a couple more. So number 6, it says Garrett has $1 less than 3 times as much money as Liz has. Together, they have $179. How much money does Garrett have? So pause the video, try this one for yourself, come back when you're ready. Okay, so we're going to let X be Liz's money because Liz has the least amount of money. Okay, and then it says Garrett has $1 less than 3 times what Liz has. So we're doing 3 times Liz and then $1 less than that. And that's going to be Garrett's money. Okay, so now I can go ahead and figure this out. It says together they have $179. So I need to add these two together, equal to 179. So Liz's money plus Garrett's money equals a total of $179. And now we can solve our equation. Add 1 to both sides, divide by 4, and you end up with $45. Okay, and this $45 represents Liz's money. So now to get Garrett's money, we're taking 3 times that 45 and then subtracting 1. And when we do that, we get $134. And this problem is only asking about how much money does Garrett have. So my answer is $134. All right, so number 7. The Buffalo Bills scored 24 more than twice the number of points that the Miami Dolphins scored. Altogether, the team scored 66 points. How many points did each team score individually? Okay, so we're going to figure out how much the Dolphins score is and how much the Buffalo Bills score is. So it says the Buffalo Bills scored 24 more than twice the number of points that the Dolphins did. So the Dolphins' points are the lower one. So the Dolphins' score is going to be X. And then we're going to let 24 more than twice the Dolphins. So 24 more than twice the Dolphins. And that's the Bills. And then altogether, they earned 66. So we're going to add these two together. So X plus 2X plus 24 equals 66. So combine like terms, 3X plus 24 equals 66. Subtract your 24 from both sides to get a 42. Divide by 3, and you get 14. So the Dolphins got 14 points. And I'm going to take the 14 and plug it back in here to figure out what the Bills got. Okay, and when you solve this, that tells you the Bills score. And the Bills ended up with 52 points. All right, number 8 says, there are 10 less red Skittles than orange Skittles in the bag. The orange Skittles are also twice the number of red Skittles. Find the number of red and orange Skittles in the bag. So it says there's 10 less than the red Skittles. 10 less red Skittles than there are orange Skittles. So let's just focus. Orange is going to be our X. And then there are 10 less than that red Skittles. So x minus 10 is our red. Okay, so now we also know that the orange Skittles are twice the number of red Skittles. So the orange Skittles, which is x, is equal to 2 times the red Skittles. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and solve, and we're going to go ahead and distribute first. So we have 2x minus 20, and then I want to get all the x's on one side. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2x from both sides. So I have a negative x equals a negative 20, and then divide both parts by negative 1 because that is a negative 1 in front of that x. So x equals 20. So that tells me there are 20 orange Skittles. And then to figure out the red, you would just take 20 minus 10, which would be 10 red Skittles. All right, so that's one type of these problems. So now you can also have problems that involve perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, so remember the perimeter formula is when you add up all the sides. In our case, we're going to use this version of it, 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Okay, so we're going to use that to help us figure out what our perimeter of these rectangles is going to be. So it says the length of a rectangle is 6 inches more than its width. If the perimeter is 24 inches, find its dimensions. So we're going to use this formula to help us figure out the dimensions of our rectangle. So first, we're going to start with, it says the length is 6 more than the width. So we'll start with the width being x. And then the length is 6 more than that. So x plus 6 would be our length. Okay, and then we're going to use our formula here to solve. So it says the perimeter is 24 inches. So perimeter is 24. And we have 2 times our length, which is x plus 6. And then plus 2 times our width, which is x. So now I can go ahead and solve. Step 1 is to distribute. So 24 equals 2x plus 12. And then plus 2x. Step 2 is to combine like terms. So we have 4x plus 12. Step 3 is to get rid of this plus 12. So now I have 12 equals 4x. Divide both parts by 4. And then x equals 3. So my width is 3. Okay, and that's in inches because it says inches up here. So now I can go ahead and put 3 into my length equation. So 3 plus 6, that's 9. So my dimensions would be 3 inches by 9 inches. Right, so number 10. It says the length of a rectangle is 5 inches more than 4 times its width. If the perimeter of a rectangle is 90 inches, find its dimensions. So same idea. The length of the rectangle is 5 inches more than 4 times the width. So width is the smaller one. So we're going to let x be our width. And then it says the length is 5 inches more than 4 times the width. So 4 times the width plus 5 equals our length. And it says the perimeter is 90 inches. So we're going to do our equation. I'm going to go ahead this time and put the 90 last. Okay, and then we're doing 2 times our length and then 2 times our width. So I'll do 2 width plus 2 times our length, 4x plus 5. Okay, then distribute. Step 2 is to combine like terms. Step 3 is to get rid of the plus 10. So we subtract it. The next step is to divide. So we're dividing both parts by 10 to get that the width is 8. So then we can take our 8 and plug that in over here. So 4 times 8 plus 5 will give us the length. So we have 8 inches. And we also have 37 inches when you solve that. All right, so try number 11. Pause it, come back when you're ready. All right, so for number 11, your x should be your width. And then your length would be 2x minus 3. So then we can go ahead and solve. It says the perimeter is 18. So plug these things in. So 2x plus 2 times 2x minus 3 equals 18. And then follow the same steps as we have been. Distribute. Combine like terms. And then solve. And then once you get your x answer, take 4, plug it in over here for your length. All right, and then when you get your final answer, you should have 4 centimeters and 5 centimeters. All right, so let's try 2 more. The length of a rectangle is 7 inches more than its width. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 66, find its dimensions. So pause it, try it. All right, so for 12, your x is your width. And then your length would be x plus 7 because it's 7 inches more than the width. All right, so then you can go ahead and plug it into your formula. So 2x plus 2x plus 7 equals your perimeter of 66. And then solve. 2x plus 2x plus 14 equals 66. 4x plus 14 equals 66. Subtract 14 from both sides to get 52, and then divide by 4 to get 13. Okay, so that is your width, and then your length, you would do 13 plus 7 to get 20. So your measurements would be 13 inches and 20 inches. All right, so number 13 says the length of a rectangle is 5 less than twice the width. If the perimeter is 56, find its dimension. So again, pause, try it, come back. All right, so x is our width again, and we have 5 less than twice the width. So twice the width minus 5 should be your length. And then solve by plugging it in first. The whole total is 56. So we're solving now. by distributing first. And then you combine like terms. And then you go ahead and solve this two-step equation. Add 10 to both sides. And then divide by 6 to get 11 as your width. And then you take 11, plug it in for your length. Solve that. You should have 11 inches, and then when you solve this, you should get 17 inches. All right, so there's one more type I want to go over, and that's consecutive numbers. So what does consecutive mean? So consecutive just means that the numbers are one after the other. Okay, so we can have consecutive numbers, consecutive even numbers, consecutive odd numbers. So, for example, 3, 4, 5, those are consecutive numbers, and it keeps going, obviously. So you would have like x, and then x plus 1 to show 4, x plus 2 to show 5, etc. Okay, consecutive even numbers, if we start at 2, then we'd have 4, then we'd have 6, and it keeps going. So you start with x is 2, and then show that you're adding 2, and then you're adding 4 to get the next consecutive number. All right, and then odd numbers, same idea. 1, 3, 5, dot, dot, dot. So again, start at x, add 2 more, and then you add 4 more from the original to get the 5, etc. Okay, so for number 14, it says the sum of two consecutive numbers is 123, so find the numbers. So our first number is going to be x. Okay, so first consecutive number is x. And then, since it's consecutive and it's not saying between odd or even, x plus 1 is going to be the next one. Okay, so now we're saying that if when we add these together, we get 123. So x plus 1 equals 123. And then you just solve. So we combine like terms. We got two-step equations, so now we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. And then divide by 2. So that means our first number is 61, and then it wants the next consecutive number, so that would be 62. Okay, pretty simple. So number 15 says the sum of two consecutive numbers is 85. Find the numbers. So pause, try this on your own. All right, so we're going to let x be the first one. Then we're going to let x plus 1 be the second one. So it's saying the sum of the two consecutive numbers is 85. So x plus 1 equals 85. So we have 2x plus 1 equals 85. Subtract 1, divide by 2. So our first number is 42, and then the second number would be plus 1, so 43. All right, so number 16 says find two consecutive even numbers whose sum is 54. So our first number is going to be x, and since we're looking for even, the next number would be two numbers away this time. So x plus 2 would be our second number. So exact same process as before, x plus, this time it's x plus 2 equals 54. Combine like terms. Subtract 2 from both sides. Divide by 2. Okay, and then the next consecutive number, so the first number is 26, and then you would just add 2 to that to get the next one, which would be 28. Okay, so we're going to try a couple more. So This one says the sum of two consecutive odd numbers is 128, so find the numbers. So go ahead, pause, try this. All right, so same idea as the even, because the next odd number would be 2 away from the first one. So it's x plus 2 again. And then it's saying the sum of them is 128. So x plus 2 equals 128. Combine like terms. Subtract 2. Divide by 2. And you're going to expect an odd number here because you're looking for the consecutive odd numbers. We do get an odd number. And then this plus 2 would be our second number. So 63 and 65 would be our answer. All right, so for number 18, instead of just using 2 numbers, now we're using 3 numbers. So the sum of 3 consecutive even numbers is 138. So your first number is going to be x, like usual. Our second number is going to be x plus 2, because it's the even number. And then the next number after that would be x plus 4 to get our third. So now we're going to go ahead and add all of these up to get 138. So x plus 2 plus x plus 4 equals 138. Combine your like terms. So we have 3x plus 6 equals 138 minus 6 divided by 3. This is telling me my first number is 44. And then 2 away from that would be 46. And then 2 away from that would be 48. All right, so same idea for 19. Try it. Come back when you're ready. All right. So x is your first one. X plus 2 is your second. X plus 4 is your third. So we're going to go ahead and there we go. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing we did up here. So x plus 2 plus x plus 4. And that should all add up to give me 57. So combine our like terms. Subtract our 6. Divide by 3. All right, so my first number is 17. Add 2 to that to get 19. Add 2 to that to get 21. All right, number 20, it says the sum of 3 consecutive numbers is 33 more than the smallest of all the numbers. So we need to find the numbers. So first, let's do we have x is our first. This time we just want regular consecutive. So we're going to go ahead and do x plus 1 and x plus 2 this time because they're just consecutive. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and set up our equation. So we have x plus 1 plus x plus 2 equals, and it says the sum of those numbers is 33 more than the smallest of the numbers. So 33 more than the smallest would be x plus 33. Now we can go ahead and combine our like terms. All right, we have variables on both sides, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract the x. And then we go ahead and move the 3. Divide both parts by 2 to get 15. So my first number is 15. And the next two numbers would be the 16 and then the 17 because that's consecutive. All right, so 21. We've got a longer word problem here. Let's look at it. It says in cross country, the team score is determined by the place each individual runner finishes. So for example, first place is 1 point, 16th place is 16 points, etc. In their latest meet, the boys cross country team scored 55 points. If there were 5 runners on the team that each runner finished one after the other, what places did they each come in? So this is consecutive because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bam. They got 5 places in a row. So we're going to let X be whoever came across the finish line first. And then X plus 1 would be the second one. X plus 2 would be the third runner. X plus 3 would be the fourth runner. X plus 4 would be the fifth runner. Okay, so we're saying that all of these added together should give us 55 total points because that's how many points they scored. So we're doing X plus 1 plus X plus 2 plus X plus 3 plus X plus 4. And that should give us 55 points. So we're adding all of these together to get 55. So now we can go ahead and combine our like terms, and I get 5x plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. That's going to get me a total of 10 equals 55. Now I can solve minus 10, so I have 5x equals 45. Divide by 5, x equals 9. So my very first person came in 9th place. The next person was 10th, then 11th, then 12th, and then 13th place.